Hey guys, remember that the videos for this week, except for the review video, are going to be very short and very sweet. I do expect you to do glossary cards, but I expect you to write your own definitions and your own clear-cut examples on the back. We'll talk about that later in class today. So let's talk about slope. In slope, we usually use the variable m, and it is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by the quantity of x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Please remember, though, that Ms. Rose said in high school and in college, you will see this as delta y, delta x. Okay? Also know this, for 8th grade mathematics, what you need to realize is that anywhere along this line in the same plane, you will notice that you create either congruent triangles or similar triangles. The ratio of change in y to change in x does create similar triangles. So in this case, if you had to find the missing rise, you would compare 6 divided by 10 is equal to x divided by 15. Okay, and then you could solve this proportionally, or you could simplify this to know that the slope would be 3/5. If the slope is 3/5, then the missing rise has to be, that's right, 9. Now, what about slope? Well, we have 4 different definitions of slope as far as the 4 types of slope that we might have. The first one is positive. In a positive slope, the linear equation rises from left to right when it is graphed. As y changes positively, so does x. And also vice versa. As y drops, x also drops proportionally. With negative slope, as y decreases, x increases, or vice versa. Okay, you have a negative relationship. Now, for this one, this is zero slope. Zero slope results in a horizontal line. That means x is changing, but y does not. Be careful about this one. This one is called undefined slope. An undefined slope, y changes, but x does not. Standard form of a line. In a standard form of a line, it is written as capital AX plus capital BY is equal to C. But please take a look at this. A, B, and C must be integers, no fractions. And one of the other things in high school and college is that A must yield a positive coefficient. Okay, don't forget that. Here's a great example, and also don't forget that I have posted on each one of these slides a website that you can go to for further information if this is one of your areas of weakness. Point slope form. Now, Mrs. Rose is going to be very fair. Point slope form must have been invented by some high school or college professor that just decided their kid didn't understand how to use the format of y equals mx plus b. I'm not a big proponent of point slope form, but here is a great module from Purple Math if you have struggles with it. One of the things that I always like to say is y opposite y is equal to slope times x opposite x. It is one of those things that helps you out a little bit. But if you had trouble with point slope form in the past, please check out Purple Math. Parallel lines. Parallel lines, the slope of the first line is equal to the slope of the second line. Please realize that parallel lines are coplanar. That means they have to be in the same plane, like on the same sheet of paper. If you notice here, these are 2 lines that will never intersect, but they are called skew lines because they are not in the same plane. Another part of the definition for parallel lines that you should have is that they are always the same distance apart. If you have trouble with parallel and perpendicular lines, mathwarehouse.com has a great explanation. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines meet at a 90-degree intersection. They will be coplanar because they have to intersect, okay? The symbol for perpendicular lines, of course, is like this. And the other thing that you need to remember is that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. Now, that means that they are opposite signs and that the absolute values are reciprocals. One of the ways that I remember this is that A over B, when put to a perpendicular, will become the opposite of B divided by A. Toodaloos, guys. Like I said, this one was very short, but please check all of the websites if you are having any difficulty with this slope. Okay? See you in class tomorrow.